Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Just like that, January 1 is done. Hi. What did you do on your first day of 2025? In the Philippines, we have a belief that whatever you are doing on January 1, specifically on the first hour of January, that's what you're going to end up doing for the rest of the year. So I'm curious, what was it that you were doing January 1? Hi, let me greet everybody. I'm me. For once, I will be here in time. Cyan, Katerina, Darren, Rebecca, hi. Um, Lindsay, HHK, Leah, Angel Star, Barbara, Han, Carmi, Hoan, Diana, Kathleen, Cindy, Janine. My dog wants to join me. Rose, Lara, BTS paved the way. Come here. Say Happy New Year. He wants to join us. Okay, where was I? BTS paved the way, Rose's Splendor, Janine, Cindy, Kathleen, One Hot Shan, Rhea, Ray, Sue, Jean, Namhar, Lara, Science, Spring Day, Raw Wolf, Crystal, Robin, Christy, Demary, Proud Nana, Deanna, Beatrice, Belinda, Mary Jane, Marie, Ray, Personal Space, Bea, Katie, Laura, Claudia, Sammy, Tisa, Hannah, Anarchist. Oh, that's nice. Sammy, Baby Mac, Melanie, Keziah, Helena. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year, TLT. Hand painted paints, Marie, Gail. Hand painted paints. I got your message on Twitter. I haven't visited the site though, but I will. Met two new armies. Wow, where did you meet them? Marina, Spring Day, Janet, Shelly. Say hi, Riri. Hi to everybody. Show them your cuteness. uh, the vibe has changed because of 2025. Sweet dog. He is very sweet. Also very spoiled. This is, I know, right? I'm trying to hold off on losing my mind. I'm waiting like until maybe March, then I'll just absolutely lose my shit. But I'm trying to control it because we're still like 6 months away, five and a half, 5.5 months away from, well, six actually, five and a half, 5.5 months away from getting them back. He is a snuggle buddy. He likes getting, actually, he only likes getting hugs and stuff when I scratch him. If I stop scratching him, he's gonna want his own space. Namhar, I know. So there was a excuse to those who are not from the US, but so we have a tragedy. January 1, there is a car that plowed over several people, not several, but a lot of people, and then in New Orleans, and then he went down. Thank you, Angel Star. You got $5, baby. I was actually going to show you. So there were some people who gave him. Thank you, Angel Star. So there were some people who gave him some money for treats, and I already bought all of them. I'm going to show it to you. I'll post. I'll take a picture and post it. And then I bought him a new uh, harness because he doesn't like the one that you put on the neck. What do you call that? He likes the harness so that I'm not pulling his neck. But thank you. You should have one, Leah. So going back, so there's a shooter in New Orleans, and he was able to he killed 10 people, but there were 30 injured. I don't know if the numbers changed, but the last time I checked, 10 people passed away, 10 people died, and 30 got injured. The two of which were police officers. So they were able to, the police officers were able to shoot him. So the shooter actually died, but he was able to. Oh, 15 already. Okay, 15. The count went up. So it was tragic first day of the year for a lot of people. I hope that it stops. The the FBI, I think, are they're quite fast now. They were able to identify that he probably didn't act alone. So yeah, so I hope is this is too much. The last 3 years, I think there's just been shooters and all of that. I hope it stops. Mirage said, I miss your video essays. Every time I open your YouTube, you are now streaming. What happened? I want to listen to your opinion about your topic, not calling out everyone that is on here. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but Mirage. That's one of the things that I am restarting in 2025. The video essays, marriage. Okay, marriage. That's one of the things that I'm restarting in 2025. I really needed some help, and it took me a while. Like, I mean, I need somebody to help me out with things in the channel, and I was finally able to find that person after a year, almost a year of search. So I will be able to go back to doing the video essays again outside, and that is over and above the live streams. So the usually the live streams, I would cut it shorter per topic, so that people who don't want to listen through the entire live stream don't have to. They can just listen to the specific topics. So I'm still going to do that. I'll do the live streams. I'll cut it shorter, upload them, but I will still go back to my video essays. And now that I have help, I found the right person, then I'll be able to do that. So I like listening to people and say hi. Hi, Gail. Maria, I love your life. Thank you, Robin. So I will still do that. I will do the video essays. I'll do this. And I will finally be able to resume my project of doing the on the Asian Entertainment Magazine. And it was just I was just so overwhelmed with a lot of things. And as you know, my mom actually went here this year to live with me permanently. So I also had to get her settled, get things done. It was just a lot going on. So, but I am happy that I finally found the help that I need. So you have so many irons in the fire. Admire you. Thank you. I'm trying to get things organized. Oh, Rosho. Hi, Rosho. Sorry. Hi, Marie. I love your live stream because I trust you. Thank you, Marie. Thank you. Happy New Year, JR, Delonda. Okay, so I actually wanted to start that. Say, are you okay? Can I put you down, sir? Can I put you down? If you want to stay with me. He can be very clingy. Okay, let me get him. Okay, here's your. All right. So I got him his pillow. So I actually want to start with some 2025. He's such a he is. He's very spoiled. He blends in so well with my wall. We had someone deliberately drive into two police officers early January. One died of her injuries. Are you talking about New Orleans? This is the first time I've caught you. I'm usually in bed by now. I'm actually about to go, so I'll have to watch you later. But I wanted to say hi. Hi, Angie. Okay, I wanted to start today with some news. Uh, just something light first, and then we'll go to the Melon issue, which I know you're already aware of. Okay, so let's go to some news first. So JYP is apparently going to debut a six-member boy group called Kickflip, and they're going to debut in January. It's a kind of a unique concept because they're going to combine skateboarding, the skateboarding culture, and street dance. So, like hip hop, street hip hop. All members, apparently, allegedly, all members have professional level skateboarding skills, so they will show a performance that's kind of different because they are going to highly utilize skateboarding. So they're trying to sort of, as you know, skateboarding is a huge culture in it, not a discipline in the US, and it's very very niche, but it's also connected to many other markets, like you know, they sing a certain type of music, they have their own style, they have their own aesthetics. So I find it interesting, and I find it's a welcome thing to have something different. My gut is that many of these companies are really grunge, yes, very grunge. So many management companies are really struggling to release a huge boy group, and that is all because of BTS. The one error that people are making is that they're always measuring the success, the market, the public, the fans. They're always measuring the success of a boy group versus by comparing them to BTS. And that, I think, the minute that you do that, it's kind of like you're gonna fail. So I think one way of sort of moving away from that is creating a boy group with a really different kind of a different kind of concept, and I think they got it with this one. So I'm very interested. I don't know how much people will resonate with it. As you know, the majority of the market of boy groups, of K-pop idols, basically they're women. So being able to, so I don't know how much of this image will resonate with girls and with women. So let's see. I don't think they're going to necessarily appeal to the general public because I don't think this is something that, like, GP of Korea would resonate with. So they're definitely targeting super fans in this one. So it is very, because it's very niche, right? Call that's that. I definitely agree with you that there could be some reservations, primarily because it's a really different concept. It's grunge, it's skateboarding, not necessarily something that uh, that is consistent with the boy next door kind of image that South Korea likes. But let's see, right? So I'm definitely interested, and I'm like, I would it's if I had a management company, this is not necessarily a group that I would launch, but it's this is a concept that I would look forward to. So the injuries, oh, I could just imagine. Sounds like gimmick to me, Sue Richard said. Just focus on quality music. That's one way of looking at it. Hoan said skateboard and sing the same time. Um, maybe, but maybe they're going to execute some like minor moves while singing, and then there are dancers that will be using the skateboard more intently. I know that. So yeah, I think it's more like a skater boy kind of concept. Someone mentioned that. Lara said skater boy. So Bea said, I found BTS when they were already huge, but I still found them organically. So when they announce a group like this, it doesn't really catch my attention. I need to hear the music first, not the concept. Yeah. You're more, Bea, you belong to the kind of fan that really looks after the music. Like you're like, I want the music first. And you're not the majority. You're definitely not a majority. We are definitely not a majority. So many of the people here, we don't belong to the majority. Namhar said skateboarding was at the Olympics and there were female and males. Yes, and music and lyrics moved me first. I think I'll pass on this group. Just doesn't vibe well. Hoan said, "Me too. I'm more into music." Yeah, I think I, I, and I'm very proud to say this. I think majority of the people that are tuned in to my live stream and to my videos and in my Patreon, you're not like the general public, and I mean that in a good way. So I am not surprised with your inputs. The idea, Angie said, the idea is interesting enough that I definitely want to check it out. But if it's too novelty, I probably wouldn't stick around. Jess said, interested to see the skater boy music direction 90s punk skater boy, 2000 pop punk skater boy, to 2010 hip hop and punk skater boy. Let's see. So, this is their teaser image. This is them. No faces yet. So, let's see. So, very much the grunge, I would say 2010 skater boy hip hop kind of image, not necessarily your 90s punk. So there you have it. Let's see. I'm excited to see them actually. Lindsay's V, are you personally think that I'll give them a chance? But if they can sing, I don't think that they can. Well, definitely, yeah. Short-lived said TXT had a good concept. SM, as outside of the, so SM is going to launch their new girl group. This is two of the members. So they've actually already sort of published a some of their dance practice. So this is two of the members. This is one, Kim Oju, and one of she apparently she looks like Won Young Ha of IVE. So she trained with ESPA, and she was supposed to be in the ESPA lineup, but I guess she didn't. So this the two images below, that's Won Young, just to make it clear, and then the two images above, that's her. So they're saying that she looks like Won Young. Okay, so she's 2004. That'll make her 20 years old. And this is another member, Sujin. She looks very, very tall. So 2005, 18 years old. There is no date yet as to when they're going to launch, but this is the rumored name, Crucialize. That's straight one young. So just wanted to make it clear, the two images below, that's one young. It's the two images above, that's her. I just put it there to compare their look. So Homan said K-pop is giving me a headache. They keep throwing out groups. Um, all right. So you're trying to Google which one are you trying to Google? So this is the second one. She's really tall, and apparently she's like a model or something. So this could be the name because fans already found the trademark, the name that SM is trademarking. So this is a possibility, Crucialize. Okay, and then they're also going to launch a trot group. So there are apparently four members, and one of the members they said is like a former idol, and one is like older than usual, like 26 years old or something like that, so definitely older than the others that debut. And yes, most likely this will be considered sixth gen. Yeah, most likely considered sixth gen. um I am sure, and Angelic, I am sure New Jeans will shout stolen concept about this group. Oh, for this one, for Crucialize, it could be. um, Rhea said, "I'll check them out and give them a chance, but it's been hard to like other groups since BTS. BTS really set the bar high. I can't believe. I mean, they set the bar high not just for K-pop, but just for other musical acts in general. That's what I have found out. It's just that it's so hard for me to like new acts because I'm always looking for the substance. I'm always looking for the narrative, the lore, the visual appeal, the storytelling, and it's so hard to find an artist like that. So they really spoiled a lot of things for me. But anyway, so Trot. um, They will, I don't know how much they are going to appeal internationally, but I do think it's a good idea. I think they are going to make it big in South Korea. Locally, they probably are going to make it big because trot is a traditional Korean sound. So my gut is that they're actually trying to compete with the Wonyoung. Jess said a trot group is the smartest thing they've done in years. This is Yi Moon Woo competition. Yeah, that is my gut. They're trying to compete with him, and I think having like a bunch of younger guys, I think that's going to do them really good. The Buy Explorer. Hi, Buy Explorer. We're just going through some of the news. And next is Source Music is going to launch a new girl group. It's actually Source Music and Pledis. And a lot of people are like expressing that they don't like the idea because SSERAFIM is just starting out. Before I go to Source Music, for Pledis, I think it kind of makes sense because their number one group, which is 17, is going to start. The members are going to start serving the military, so they do need to replace that group. They need to earn. They need some revenue coming in, so naturally they're gonna want to launch a new group. So that kind of makes sense. For Source Music, I think I am going to discuss Le Seraphim later. And once I discuss it, it's going to make more sense why they are actually launching a new girl group right now. Because the strategy that they use for Le Seraphim is kind of a long tail strategy, but more sustainable. So I think it makes sense. In gist, what they're actually doing is using the first 2 years as a training build up phase for the group. So Le Seraphim in the last 2 years has sort of just been building up in three areas: performance, creative control, and their own market. So now they're kind of ready to go global. So now that they're ready to go global, I do think that it would be wise for them to start training a new group so that by the time Le Seraphim is entering a new phase in their career, then they have a group that will be ready to go global as well. Um, Throwing them out like hotcakes. Yeah, well, I you know once in a while you'll have like a group that would really go big, right? That is the hope of many management companies. Angelic said with SVT 17 and listing, Pledis will focus on TWS because they have an awful history with girl group. I heard about that. Okay, YG is also launching a new idol group. They didn't say whether it's a boy band or a girl group. Other people are saying it's a girl group and not a boy band. But regardless, it's going to be Miki saying hi, Deba. He is here. So no word yet whether it's a boy group or a girl group, but they are definitely going to follow the same hip hop genre, the same hip hop concept that YG has been consistently pursuing. I do think that this time he's going to follow through with this because I think one of the things that happened is that he learned his lesson that launching a group like once every 4 years isn't going to cut it anymore because the market is just like more getting more and more saturated with boy groups, and he's like having a harder time building up a group. So what's happening is that he's like relying on one group heavily each generation, and that's not sustainable for a business. And I think he learned that lesson now. So I think he's going to do just about what just about every other management company is doing, and that is to launch many groups so that he can have more sources of revenue. YG doesn't even have a fourth gen. They do not, correct? Yeah, they don't have a fourth gen. I wish they would pursue quality over quantity, Hachan said. The funny thing is that people, YG fans or fans of the groups from YG insist that they are pursuing quality. That's why they are not um, launching as many groups as other companies. Elizabeth said SMNJYP is like buying a pre-measured cake mix. Girls bake for 15 minutes and the cupcake all look the same as the package. New Jeans and Mama Roach tainted the well on girl groups. Okay, next is 17 because they are going to start enlisting and one of the members is slated to concentrate in perform in promoting in China. Apparently the strategy that they're going to do is do units. So they'll do units until all the members complete their military service. That's the strategy. But I think one of the things that they learned from BTS is that you do need to plan this thing. If you want to be able to come back strong, you do need to plan it. And so they're doing that. Um, BTS decided to sort of serve at the same time, right around the same time, to shorten the time that they are not together. And then they did solo activities. But for 17, it seems that the strategy that they're going to be pursuing is by doing unit groups until the rest of the members complete their military service. YG lack Bimo said YG lack of songwriters and producers. They depend on Teddy, the Black Label majority shareholder and CEO. That is true. YG was very open. Yan Yan Sok was actually very open about the fact that they rely very much on local producers or local producer, just one, and that is steady. So, but with Baby Monsters, they've started working with other groups, with other producers. So maybe let's see. I mean, they started working with GD. Maybe he's gonna get involved more in songwriting for the other groups. Other groups that they are going to be releasing, Nora, I don't know what that is, X Love, A Bloom. This is the former members of 50/50, Polarix, and Close Your Eyes. So these are from smaller agencies. Um, so that those are the ones that are sort of more known. Like the companies have already announced that they are going to do this, so there's a bit more certainty on this one. I do have some predictions though. I meant Close Your Eyes. Yeah, Close Your Eyes. I don't know. Like I'm not really sure which companies they're going to be coming from, which companies are managing this groups, but this is the list of some more of the new groups that are launching. I know that a lot of people felt that there's like the girl group market is oversaturated. And as I've said, I think it's primarily because of BTS. Like a lot of people, when a new boy group launches, they keep on comparing their success to BTS. And that's just like, that's suicide. Like you can't compare it with BTS. So that's why it's harder for them to launch a new boy group. Um, I do feel though I know that Big Hit is has launched an audition for a new boy group, so probably they're going to launch a new boy group either this year, late this year or next year. But Big Hit's probably going to do that. Also, I mean TXT has been is like what 5 years old, 6 years old, so it's just about time for them to launch a new boy group. Um, how the concept is going to be very interesting though, the kind of sound, how it's going to go, it's going to be very interesting. Okay, let me see if you have questions. Jazzy J said, I'm going to join the fanship with Polarix and Close Your Eyes. Close Your Eyes is will be under Hype. Oh, okay. Close Your Eyes will be under Hype. Which company? Which is it? Tours? Which company? Um, Pinayon say GG have more general public appeal, but the audience is fickle. They don't have correct. So they do have a GP. They have more a GP appeal, but not a lot of super fans. And as you know, super fans is where the money is. So um, you don't know yet. Okay. Prediction, of course, we all know that BTS is going to return in 2025, but I think they're going to do something really, really different. A lot of people are counting on a new album and a tour, and I think they're going to do that. I just doubt whether they are going to do that in 2025. I think the first on their list will be the celebration of the best moment in life. This is Suga's magnum opus, and it's a very important part in their discography because it's really the album or the series or the era that really launched them to stardom. This is where everything started. So I think this is a very important thing for them to celebrate. I think they have been planning something for a long time. I think this is something that they planned even before they decided to sign an extension of their contract. So, and I think this is like one of the things that they wanted to prepare for early. So, my guess is that RM already hinted they will change away from Dynamite and Butter. I do think I think it's going to be something we have never expected. That for sure. Like, I think once they make their comeback, all of us are going to just be shocked and go like, where the hell did I come from? In a good way, in a good way. So I'm anticipating it, but I think their first on the list would be the 10th anniversary of the best moment in life. I think it's going to be a big anniversary. It's going There's going to be a special activity, and I think this special activity they have already been working on since even before they started um, enlisting in the military. I think there's going to be a movie or a docu. There's going to be an global event, and I think they're going to pursue individual storylines, just develop the storylines that they have started. I don't know if you have a copy of the books on the best moment in life, but I think there's going to be some sort of a continuation, and I think they're going to do a special album. I think they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to do like a semi-residency for this one, but I think this is their first on the list. Like this is one of the first activities that they're going to be doing. That's going to also give them time to develop the album and to prepare for the tour. I don't know. I'm sure that many of you are athletes or you know a little bit about health, but they do need to get back into shape. And when I say get back into shape, I don't necessarily mean just lose weight. I think they just need to get their body used to performing again and performing like a 3 hour concert or a 2.5 hour concert. So that takes time. That's not going to be like 3 months. So if they come back June, I don't think like, okay, September, we're going to start a world tour. I think they need a lot more preparation than that. And then over and above that would be the actual songwriting. And then just to get used to being seven again, right? I think the mere fact that they have been doing individual activities for such a long time, they're going to have to readjust to being seven again. And this is not going to be the same seven people. I mean, at their core, it's the same seven people, but of course, they have all evolved. They grew up. So I think there's going to be adjustment period and they will allow themselves time to get used to that again. Bang Shiuk had said it was already underway, even if BTS had not resigned. So it started a while back for 10th year anniversary. Yeah, yeah, I do remember him saying, I think it was in the Bloomberg interview, he said that if BTS did not sign with Big Hit again, they still would have celebrated the best moment, the most beautiful moment the most beautiful moment. It's just not it just wouldn't be with Big Hit. So it was like BTS's plan. That is their plan. They wanted to do that. And Big Hit is just fulfilling it because BTS decided to re-sign with them. Okay, someone's asking me a question. Fairlane, what do you think about residency in Vegas? This is what I have been campaigning for for a long time. Just do a residency. Even if it's a short residency, for example, if they do like like even just 2 months in Allegiant, it's going to be a different kind of residency, like a 2 month residency in Allegiant. That's going to give the boys like some sort of semblance of normalcy, right? And then the whole like the area, the state itself, the city is actually designed for something like that. So they can do a lot more than just do a concert. It can be like a 2 month festival. And they can do side activities for individual members and stuff like that. So I think personally is going to be more flexible. The unfortunate thing would be that then they will skip on going to different cities. So that is going to force a lot of fans to have to travel if they want to watch BTS. But I hope they do it, even if it is not a long term residency, even if it is just 2 months or 3 months or something like that. And then it's better for them to be able to, because they can plan different activities around it if they are just in one city. And I think for their bodies as well, like for their physical bodies, I think it's just better to be in one place, so there's some sort of normalcy in their routine. Pink Crystal, hello. They do residency. I am moving to Las Vegas. You and I both. You and I both, Cyan. I'm going to watch as many shows as I can. I do not care. To watch as many concerts as I can. So most would have to travel anyway. You are correct. Yeah, most would have to travel, and it's like for many, if you're in the US, it's really even better to travel in Las Vegas because it's really meant, like the city is meant for something like this. Like people actually go to Las Vegas. So I hope they do it. This is going to give them, again, it's going to give them a chance to plan other activities other than just the concert itself. But let's see, right? Let's see. I wouldn't even mind like doing a residency in one place per region, or per region, like for one for Europe, one for the US, and then Asia, right? I think that'll be okay. Didn't Hyde release an investors info letter saying BTS was going on a 60 stadium world tour that would perform for 3.5 million? um they I Yeah, they did. It wasn't exact. It wasn't an exact number. I'm not too far from Las Vegas. Drive or fly 1.5 hour. Oh my god, I'm going to move to Las Vegas, I swear. Okay, so I am also seeing like a major Hollywood project for BTS. I don't know if it's going to be an animated movie or they're going to do a score. I don't know, but I see a major Hollywood project for them. I think Hive America is going to make a major headway in 2025, and I think instrumental in that push is BTS. Um, as powerful um, as popular and as powerful as Scooter Braun is, there's still a lot of limitation because it's just one person versus the entire industry, right? But I think having BTS there, he will be able to make some major push, and that's going to benefit other groups from Hybe moving forward. Um, Other than BTS, I think Lisa is going to tour. I think the fan, like he's having a fan tour, like a fan meeting tour. He's going to different countries, and I think that is to test the market and test herself as well, whether she can sell it, the size of the venues that she can sell, the kind of performance that she can do. I think of the four members of Blackpink. She's really the one who's showing more tenacity and energy and actual movement to drive a sustainable solo career. Jimin in Barbie 2, please. JR, I hope that will cut on their travel time will be less difficult and demanding. The Bio Explorer said yes. In addition to professional stadium, many universities have big stadiums. Ours has 85,000 with only regular seats, more on the field. Rachel said, I know I'm selfish, but I really don't want them to become Hollywood-ish. Am I looking at this wrong? No, I think they've Bang Shiuk and Scooter Braun already expressed their vision. Well, it is Bang Shiuk's vision that Scooter Braun is trying to help implement or execute. And the vision is to create their own industry. They they've they've said that. I think Scooter Braun in his interview with Bloomberg already said that Bang Shiuk wants to create a new industry outside of Hollywood, and I think that is a good thing. I think that's the right move because it's just Hollywood is just so cliquish and also dirty. Not everybody. There are some really good people in there. Um, but we know this, all of this, like, controversies that are coming up, so we know that it's not a totally pleasant industry. So they've already they've already Scooter Braun already expressed that Bang Shi wants to create his own industry. Okay, I do think that Adore is going to rebrand. I don't know if they are going to launch a new group, a new soloist, but they are definitely going to rebrand. But they definitely will launch a group or an act this year. I've already touched on this. SM's new boy band is actually the Trot group. I do think that JYP is going to launch a new girl group. I've always had, like, reservations about JYP in the way that he is unable to sustain many of these groups. Like, I think he just got lucky with Twice. So I'm no I'm so harsh, but, like, he I think he struck gold with ITZY, but he wasn't able to push through. To date, I think ITZY should be bigger than they are. The girls are so talented. They are so freaking talented. So I don't really understand why they aren't bigger now. Um, and then he launched NMIX, who are also very, very talented. The girls are so talented, but all of these groups he has on his hand, and he's unable to maximize and optimize their potential. And then, but I do remember JYP talking about his difference, the difference between him and Bang Shi. He said that he loses interest fast. He said that. He said that Bang Shi-yuk could stay on something until it works. Like, he will focus on something until it works. He would work on something and then go to something new, and then go to something new, and then go to something new. And I think that is the reason why he has been unable to sustain groups. I think with um, with Stray Kids, the reason Stray Kids has been able to sustain their own group is because they are producing themselves. Like, they are the producers of their own creatives. They drive the ship, so it's them. I hope that JYP makes the most out of the groups that he already has. But I think that's what he's going to do. I feel like he feels that NMIX and ITZY, this is the biggest that they can become, and he's just going to go to another, like, move on to another group. V Hart said he can start groups, but he doesn't know how to maintain them. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. NMIX have high skill. Bimo said NMIX have high skill, but they got not good enough songs. JYP limited their genre of music. It's not good for them. Pinoyonse said J Hope wants to be in LA to hang with Fairlane. I run away though, unfortunately. Oh, by the way, I had to dream about Jungkook, and it's such a funny one, but I'll share that in a bit. Um, Blackpink is going to have a reunion. I don't think they're going to go on a world tour yet. I don't think they're going to go on a world tour yet. I have this thought that they're waiting for BTS to go on a world tour, and then they're going to go on a world tour. But I think they're going to reunite in 2025. Largely, I've said this before. I'll just say it again. I think Blackpink, their reunion as a group will highly depend on how successful their individual careers are. I think they will every now and then come back to, like, do a project together. But if one or two members become really, really huge, I think they will pursue their individual careers more than anything. And I could understand that because they do need to sort of think about the sustainability of their individual careers once they grow older, right? I'm assuming that some of them are going to become mothers, some of them are going to get married and stuff. So, um, Pinayonse was so shocked when Hitman Bang played guitar on stage with JYP for Weavers Fest. Wherever J Hope goes, Jin will kidnap him. Lara said Blackpink hearts are not in the same place. They want different things and agenda. Yeah, I think it's more. I mean, let's be a bit more upfront about the fact that they are women, so there's like a biological clock, and I think some of the girls want to get married, right? So I think they're thinking about that. And but I'm not saying that they're not in love with what they're doing. I think they love what they're doing. They love music, they love entertainment. It's just that they need to find a way on how to do what they are doing and still be able to like get married and have children. So I think that's why they're planning well, and that is a sign of intelligence, by the way, right? I mean, you don't just go into something without planning things. So I think they're planning for that, and rightfully so. I mean, that shouldn't be taken against them. uh, so yeah, I think some of them would want to get married and have children but still continue what they're doing, so they're planning it well. And one way to really plan it is to have a strong personal career, individual career. Okay, so that is it for the news. Do you have questions before I move on to the Melon and Hanto controversy? When I'm sad, I just search videos and performances of JYP. I mean, JYP has been able to hit gold mine in some of his talents. Like, for example, I think Juno is a gold mine for JYP, because Juno has been able to successfully transition. Well, he didn't transition. He's sort of doing the same thing, but he's a respected actor now. He won the Daesang Award. I think it's like the Oscars of South Korea, and he's the very first idol to do that. There's this because in South Korea they look at idols as a lower art, inferior art, yeah, that an inferior art than acting. So not a lot of groups or not a lot of idols are actually accepted as a real actor, but Juno was able to do that. So he's sort of just running like he is a like it's a self-sustaining career. Juno is the what Juno has. It's a self-sustaining career. So he hit gold mine with that. I think he did the same thing with Twice. He hit gold mine in Twice, and Stray Kids. So I think he's smart to let Stray Kids do their own thing. Like they're managing themselves, they're creating their own music, deciding on their own, like all of those things. He's a little bit more hands on and Twice. But I mean, these groups are like Stray Kids is almost 7 years old, if not 7 years old. So, and Twice is approaching 10 years. So I do think that he is aware that he needs to produce and the next big thing so that he can have a cash cow, right? Um, okay. BTS wanting to get married will also be a long discussion and planning internally. I'm surprised we're still not getting a new fight boy group, or if they will wait for BTS to settle in and TXT to enlist. Yeah, I think yes. So for Big Hit, yeah, I'm a little surprised that they haven't, but they did launch an audition. So I think that's the next step. Just wanted to share a dream I had with Jungkook. So he called me in my dream. He called me at like 2:45 a.m. or something, and then he asked me if I was still like doing my live stream, and I said like no, it's 2:45, and then he said, oh great, because I need you to teach me how to write. Like he wanted me to train him how to flesh out his ideas, concretize his ideas, and how to express them better in like just in general, how he can do that. So he was like, it's a long session. And I said, I can't do that in one sitting because he wanted to have dinner. I was like, I can't do that in one sitting. So he said, like, oh, okay, that's fine, but let's have dinner so that we can start talking about it. And I said, no, Jungkook. I said, it's not, I don't think it is uh like no circles. He said oh it's not. I said I don't think it's proper for somebody like me to be meeting you alone. I said and then he said why, and I said because you're so young and I'm so old. And he was like and then he was like, what the hell, what on earth are you talking about? He said I'm 28. So I said, yeah, I don't think it's proper. Can you bring your manager? And I said, I see, and he was like throwing a fit, like, why do I have to call my manager? And I was like, I'll just bring Jim in. And somehow I felt it was okay. Okay, you can bring Jim in. And then we arranged to meet. And then like when I arrived at the restaurant where we were going to meet, they played a prank on me. There were paparazzis outside, and they got flashing. They got taking our pictures, and they had flowers for me, and they were like, "Oh, this is good. This is good. Tomorrow there's going to be a headline that we're dating Fairy." I'm like, "What the hell?" So I was so angry with the both of them. I was like pulling their hair or something, and that was it. That was a dream. Jimin makes everything okay. You know? I know, right? It was so weird. Like, oh, I'll just bring Jimin. I was like, okay, yeah, that's good. It does not necessarily, it does not address my concern at all. It was like, I said, I don't think that somebody as old as me should be meeting you alone. So bring your manager. And it's like, nah, I'll just bring Jimin. Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, yeah, there were so many paparazzis outside, and they had like they were taking pictures, and the both of them were so happy that the next day the headline is going to be that Jungkook is dating me, and it's like so angry. So so Jungkook behaved like the kid in Ranjin. Sugar said age doesn't matter. It was just so weird. He was like he and in my dream he was like really asking like how does he flesh out his ideas. He wanted to learn. Like how do you like if I have an idea, how do I flesh it out? And then how do I like drive home the point? You have to teach me that. And it's like I even said something like, "Oh, I can't teach you basics of writing, Jungkook. That's something that you have to learn by yourself." And I said, "No, I know a little, just like something like that." But anyway, Jungkook, please be reasonable. I don't even speak Korean, but I know, right? I know. I remember that dream. I don't remember the name of the person who had that dream. So for those who don't know, there's a tweet that went viral of an army who had a dream. She dreamt of Jungkook. Jungkook and her exchanged bodies, and then when it was time for them to exchange back, Jungkook wouldn't give her buddy back because Jungkook liked her mom and wanted to spend time with her mom. So she was like so worried that she's going to mess up his career. So she was in the bathroom talking on the phone with Jungkook and telling Jungkook like Jungkook, don't be like, please, you're not being reasonable right now. I don't even speak Korean. And she was so scared because Jungkook couldn't return her buddy. So that was the dream. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't connected to one of your lives. I believe dreams come true. It was so weird because the time was so precise, like 2:45 he called and it's like, are you still doing your live stream? I said, no, why would I be doing my live stream? It's like 2:45 in the morning. And I said, oh great. He said, I need your help. And then he's explained what help he needed. But the weirdest part was when I said I don't think it's proper for me to meet with you alone because I'm so old and you're so young. And it's like I'll just bring Jim in, and that's okay. It's like okay, great. Okay. What I wish I could remember my Jungkook dream. You have to write them. You have to write them. Okay, let's go to what happened with Hanto. Part. Um, so January 9, 2023, not 2024. Sorry, 2024, January 9, 2024. So yearly, Hanto actually released the best-selling albums, physical sales. This is based on physical sales. They do it yearly. They launch their they launch the list, and that has the best-selling albums, all the albums that was released on the previous year. So this is for 2023. They launched like January 1 of 2024. And do you want to go down? You want to go down? Okay, so but January 9, 2024, they made an announcement that they made a mistake in their tally. Say bye. Say bye to them. Bye. I'm going to go to my bed. Bye bye. Bye bye. Say bye bye, baby. Bye. Okay. So they said that they are going to they're going to launch a corrected tally. They never did. So they never corrected their 2023 numbers until someone actually checked their chart December 31, just because they wanted to see what is the 2024 tally. Does that make sense? So January 9, 2024, Hanto announced that they made a mistake in their 2023 best-selling albums. They never did. The only now someone checked their website December 31, 2024, just because they wanted to see if the 2024 list is already uploaded. That's when this person on Twitter discovered that they actually updated the tally. They just never announced it. And so there's a huge discrepancy between the actual tally, the corrected tally, and the one that they released. So, of course, for armies, the number one concern would be BTS. So, as you can see, this is the old one, and this is the new. This is the corrected. New is the corrected. So, for Jungkook, 2.6, um, 2.6 actually became 3.2. This is a huge difference, obviously, because this automatically makes him the first triple million seller soloist in Korea. And hitting 3 million physical album sales when you're all alone, that is a big thing. Remember, FML, 17's FML is 6.3 million. And there are what? How many people in that group, right? So, and he's all alone. This is a huge thing. And we didn't get to celebrate his triple million sales, right? We were never able to publicize it. And like it's the end of 2024 and we're celebrating, it's like that's a year ago, right? And then other things like Layover by V, the initial number was 2.2 when in fact it was almost 2.6, 2.595. So almost two, but it's as good as 2.6. And then there is Jimin, who they initially said is 1.7, but in fact it is 2.1. Okay, so everyone knows that in the case of V and Jimin and even Jungkook, there were problems with the physical sales from the get-go. So for V, Hanto said that they couldn't count some of the albums because they ran out of stock or something like that. Like that is absolutely absurd. Anyway, so for Jimin, they did not. It crossed 1 million 4 times. It would go cross 1 million for it would cross 1 million and then go back to less than 1 million and cross it and then it froze. And it froze for the three, not just Jimin. It froze for V as well and for Jungkook. Okay. And this is like for 26 to 50. So there's huge difference. So for this is 51 to 75, and then this is 76 to 100. There's a lot of difference. Okay, now for just for BTS, this is the difference. So the misreported is 2.6. For Golden it was 3.2. That's 600,000 increase, more than 600. They over 2.2, it was actually almost 2.6 to 379,000 difference. For Face, the difference is 393. And then for D-Day, the difference is 263 from 1.3 to 1.6. Jack in the Box, it's 163,000. And then Indigo is 153,327. So big. I mean, look at Indigo. Like their initial report didn't even reach 100,000, in fact was 241,000. Like, come on. There are other notable changes. Like for XG, they didn't enter top 100 in their initial list when in fact they sold 115,000, right? And then for TXT, the Chaos chapter didn't make the top 100 when in fact it did 119,000. Blackpink's Born Pink sold. It was from 139. What they reported is 139 to 271. Dreamcatcher Apocalypse 100,000 to 149. Even Bam Bam of Got 7 102 to 152,000. Kepler 193 to 215,000. Red Velvet 463 to 554. And New Jeans 1.8 million to 2.2. So there's a lot more. Like most, if you actually go through the list, like nothing was correct. Nothing was correct. It was just everything was effed up. But it is notable though. So it isn't just hype artists, but almost every artist from different companies, from different management companies. But it is telling that the increases, the difference, the gap is always biggest when it is a hype artist. Okay, just wanted to make that clear. Okay, so they made a mistake in almost all, not almost all, but all of it. All the groups that entered the hot 100, their 100 top 100, there was an error. Everything was actually more than what they initially reported. But the gap is always bigger when it is a hype group. So now the question is, um, does the number, did this affect any of the chances of these acts to win Daesang awards that were specifically based on sales? Because there are Daesang awards that actually are based on sales, or at least they take into consideration the physical sales of the album. Okay, so for example, for Golden Disc Award, Album of the Year, which is a Desang, uses is primarily based on physical sales of the album during the eligibility period, but they use Circle Chart. Another one is Melon Music Award. They also use Circle Chart, but this is for Artist of the Year Desang, and they combine physical album sales, digital streaming downloads, and also their Album of the Year, Adesang, also considers physical sales heavily, but they use Circle Chart. Okay. For Soul Music Award, they combine digital and physical sales, fan votes, and judges score. But they also use Circle Chart, not Hanto Chart. Okay. So why is the question? Because Hanto Chart only measures real-time consumer purchases from specific network of retailers. So they choose network of retailers, and then it's the real-time purchases that they are counting. So as you make an order from a website, they, or even physical, they, that's the one that they count. Circle Chart includes distributed album shipments data and broader digital sales metrics. So major awards like GDA, MAMA, MMA, and SMA aim for a more holistic market-wide approach. So they focus on circle chart circle chart rather than Hanto chart. If you go into, sorry, give me 1 second. I will show you um, the circle chart website, so you can check by yourself what are the things that you can see on that website. Okay, here you go. So if you go there, you can actually, there are different charts that they measure, global K-pop chart, digital streaming, download, background music, album chart, retail album chart. So for example, if we go to album chart, you can see weekly, monthly, first half, yearly. Unfortunately for yearly, they still don't have 2024. Okay, let me make it bigger. So they only have 2023. They have the first half of 2024. So they don't have their list for 2024 yet. But here you can see the entire thing, like all the lists that they have. Um, there is a difference between retail album chart and album chart. For retail album chart, it actually the actual purchase of a person of the album. Album chart measures the amount of albums that have been shipped to people, to retailers, sorry. Retail album charts actually measures the QR code, not the QR code, but the scan, the actual purchase. So usually retail album chart would show lower numbers, but that's the actual consumption. Um, so if you want, so those that's the main difference. Last year there's a uh, they released a list on the top 10 album versus retail, and there's a huge difference between the albums. But so that's the difference, just so you know. A retail album chart is the actual purchase. They measure the actual purchase. The album chart is what the company ships to the retailers. Okay? That's the main difference. And then you can go look at other charts like the global K-pop chart, and just like everything else, there's a weekly, a monthly, a first half, and a yearly. Um, who is number two? If you go weekly, there's a little bit of a difference for others, but the top two are the same. Then you go monthly, first half of 2024, but they don't have yearly yet. Okay. So in summary, Hanto doesn't really affect the performance or the possibility of the an album or an artist to win awards in South Korea. It doesn't really, because they're using circle chart. What it affects though would be bragging rights, real-time validation, and bragging rights, because it's usual, because fans are like, they like celebrating different milestones. So they look at the Hanto chart and they go, oh, in the first hour they've sold this many already. Day one, usually the first day chart, the most number of albums sold, that's coming from Hanto, because circle chart isn't as fast, because they, as I've said, they count the actual purchase for the retail album chart. Okay. Now another error is the Melon one. K-pop charts, or K-charts master, released an information saying that not a single idol boy group has reached number one in Melon daily chart in 2024, which is the first time in history that it has happened. But the truth is that Day Six actually did, and they did it twice. So they were like, the question is, how reliable are accounts like this, like Twitter accounts like this? They can't even verify the information that they are releasing, unless they don't consider Day Six a boy group, but they are a boy band and they're classified as a boy. So um, things like this can cause misunderstanding, and some of Western media companies aren't necessarily very good in verifying their sources. They have made many mistakes in the past. I remember there was this writer from Forbes, I think, who mentioned that Like Crazy is the s- second Korean song by a soloist to make it to the top of Billboard Hot 100. And I was like, nope, it's the first, because Gangnam Style only went to number two, never went to number one. So the reporter, so I think I definitely emailed the reporter, and he responded to me. He was like, oh yeah, you're right, I'm going to correct my article, which is good that he corrected it. But there are some who won't even correct it, and I'm sure that other people also got in touch with this reporter to correct the information that he was distributing. But the point is that informations like this, pieces of information like this, can be picked up by other people and then spread, right? It can go viral. Another thing that was sent to me was that there is this, I guess, just a hater, a BTS hater, uh, claimed that Rose's Apathy, which is a huge hit, a huge global hit, already sold 2 million units in the US, and then it was just 1.2 million because Billboard actually released the number. So, like, all of those things, people aren't careful. Like, they can just make up all of this information, put it out there without any kind of verification, and then people who's just always waiting for an information they can use against whoever, they're just going to pick it up and then distribute it. But just to make it clear, Day 6 actually went to number one of Melon daily chart twice. They did it twice. But the point is that Hanto or any other website, journalists, media companies, social media accounts, they are only relevant if you make them relevant. So if you want them to be more responsible and if you want them to be more accurate in the information they are distributing, then make it known. Let them know that you don't like this, that this information is incorrect, and that they need to actually correct it. So dislike it, report it, do community notes on Twitter, dislike it on YouTube, but make it a point to just do whatever it is that you can. I'm not saying go out of your way. I'm sure all of you are busy, but whatever it is that you can that is convenient for you to make it known that they are not providing the right information, do it. So someone said, I'm sorry, I don't believe that she sold 2 million in the US. No, she did not. It's 1.2. And that was released by Billboard themselves. So I guess the fan was just looking for something to use against BTS, and and I think that account specifically was like always he like they're triggered by Jimin for some reason, and who is still on the chart. So it's like, oh, you know. But anyway, it's nothing to pay attention to. It's like a minor thing, and it goes back to my point that these fans are just relevant. These accounts and these media companies and these journalists are only as relevant as you make them. So if you can, in the most convenient way for you, make it known that they are not using, that they are not providing the right information, and that they are not reliable. There are some accounts on Twitter, if you are on Twitter, that would actually post community notes, and they will say like, hey, we need to community note this, can you do so? So you just have to, like, you don't have to provide any kind of information, you just have to like say yes that the community note was helpful. I don't know how they do it in Facebook. I just opened an account on Facebook for Asian entertainment and culture. Please follow if you can. I'm not really responding to people on Facebook, but I just wanted to have like a space in Facebook. But so I'm not sure how they, maybe there is a dislike. I know that on YouTube there is a dislike. So use that even if you're not seeing how many people are disliking it, but you can use that to actually make it known that you're not happy with the kind of information that they are providing because they are wrong. Okay, so any question about that? Just don't be too triggered about Hanto because it's not relevant in the award giving bodies anyway. It's just that it is being used by other fans to sort of one up the groups that they don't like, and they are as relevant or as irrelevant as you make them to. So circle chart as of now is more important, and I think it is being used by Billboard as well. Circle chart. So um, the Bio Explorer, I saw that. I'm glad for Jimin, but I wondered why Jimin's songs did so well, but Jungkook's album did better. I think so. They all have their own markets, right? I think for Korea, it's just a Jungkook. It's just a Jungkook country. So some people are gonna get triggered. You're a Jungkook bias. um, but maybe that's the reason that it was just like it's a big Jungkook country. I mean, it shows with all the awards that he won on different shows, right? Okay. With everything I've heard of Facebook, I'm glad I'm not on it. I'm just on it because like I wanted to just own the name there. I don't because I heard from many of you guys. You have been telling me like, oh, your video is being snipped. It's being reposted on TikTok and this like, and like I'm not there. I don't know why they're like. So I guess they're using my videos there without permission. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to put like I'm going to open an account just to have an account there and not necessarily to interact with people. So if you're there and you send a message there to me, I won't be able to see it. Donita, excuse me, Miss Fairlane, you're not a Jungkook bias. Clearly, Jimin makes everything okay. I don't know why I said yes though. It's so stupid. It's like my concern was that it's not good for somebody so old like me to be meeting you. Like, okay, let's just bring Jimin. Okay, that's good. Adele. Okay, I get that, but like Crazy seems to still be doing well, but not the album. I don't know. Don't have the answer to that. Yeah, like Crazy is still doing well, and even in the US, it's still doing well. So none of BTS members need payola. They do definitely do not need payola. Set your video to not share so they don't copy it. Miki said. Oh, I can do that. I did not know. Thank you. I will check that. Like crazy. I have two pages. One is a debunk page and JMJK page, but those pages run themselves. Oh, okay. Oh, a debunk page. Okay. I super appreciate that. Thank you, Print Crystal, and you are welcome. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Le Seraphim, about the strategy on how uh, Bang Shiyok and Source Music actually did it to prepare Le Seraphim for their global entry. And it's more a marketing and a strategic strategy rather than the discussion of their music. So if that's what you're expecting, that's not it. So this year they actually made like really great headway internationally. They had two Billboard Hot 100 entries. They won an EMA, Breakthrough Artist of the Year, VMA as well, and then they had a VMA and an EMA performance. They performed VMA, they did the pre-show, and then the EMA they did the actual show. They also joined twice as the only K-pop girl groups with three entries on the top 10 of Billboard Hot 100. So Unforgiven, Easy, and Crazy all entered the top 10 of Billboard 200, not Hot 100. And then they are now the second best-selling girl group by pure sales in the US, next to Twice, second best selling girl group. Imagine that. And this is a great thing because Twice has always done well with the physical sales, even in the US. And then they are the seventh artist overall, best selling in pure sales in the US. This is a big thing because they are targeting the US. And then they have the biggest first week streams on Spotify USA for a female group with Crazy 3.3 million. And they're only behind Apathy of Rose and Bruno Mars. So it is obvious that the push is being done, that the target is actually the global market, Western more specifically. It's just interesting how everything started because when I actually reviewed my very first video that I did for Le Seraphim, and in that video I said that, oh, I think creatively, I think the Seraphim is going to be one of the best, if not the best, girl group in South Korea. But I said I just don't know how they're going to do um, commercially. I don't know if they can actually become the best because that those two don't necessarily come together. But another thing that solidified the fact that they are just really geared for the global market is the difference in their streaming globally. So in terms of it's not necessarily this thing is not necessarily an apples to apples comparison. The unique listeners, sorry for the wrong spelling, for 2024 girl group on Melon year end chart. This is unique listeners, and then the next one for Spotify global. This is streams, but look at the difference. Like number one is G Idol for Faith, and then Espa Supernova, I'll It Magnetic, Where, to be TBH, and then New Jeans House Sweet. This is their top five unique listeners. But in terms of the number of streams, Magnetic is number one at half a million, 505 million. They're going to hit 1 billion soon. Le Seraphim Smart is number two at 275 million. And then Espa Supernova, 241. Baby Monster, 254. New Jeans House Sweet is 159. And then G Idol is actually 54. And then Queer, to be, TBH, is 12 million. And there's more in between, actually. So there's a huge difference in what South Korea likes to what the global market likes. And this is even more surprising if we go into the US, Spotify US. There's even a bigger difference. It will still be number one at Magnetic, and then Le Seraphim is going to be number two. But then the 3 to 10 is just a big difference. So I'll just do another video on that. But this is a sign that there is really what South Korea likes is so different from what the global market likes, specifically West. Then the other thing that we need to remember is that Le Seraphim had a very, very short training period as a group. Kazuha, their dancer, she's the ballerina, joined them less than 6 months before the actual debut. And in that 6 months, half of that she was actually training in Europe. So she wasn't training with the group. She was just training in Europe. That's while they were processing her visa and all. Yunjin was only ahead of Kazuha for several months. So as a group, they didn't train much. But then the vision was so big. Bang Shiok has always envisioned Le Seraphim to go global. So the print, and then there's Bang Shiuk's principle as as a producer. He always likes the group to be in control of their own creatives. So in less than a year, it wasn't enough for him to prepare Le Seraphim to become the group that he really wanted. So what he did was actually extend the training after they debuted. So they debuted, and then he continued training them for what he really wanted them to do, and that is the global market. The other thing that we need to remember is that Source Music was in debt during that time. We know why. All of their, you know why. You know the story, right? Like all of their trainees were stolen. They had to pay for somebody else's training. All of that. They were in debt, and they did not have a group that was raking in the money for them. So they had to debut a group fast. Jimin and my cousin, born same year with a month difference. He reminds me of my cousin. Okay. They had to debut fast, but then the vision was so big that like Bang Shiyuk wanted a global group for a global girl group. So there was a three-pronged approach: performance, creative control, and fan-based development. So for, as I've said, the main strategy is that the first several years of Le Seraphim, Bang Shiuk and Source Music actually use that to extend the training of the Seraphim to prepare them for what they really want them to do, and that is to go global. Okay, so to refine for them to become the performers that he wanted a performance based group. He made them do longer training period, right? So then the stage presence will be better. They will be able to experience different kind of situations in performing and all and stuff like that. So it's usually like 2 weeks for groups nowadays, and they were performing for like 3 weeks and a month to get them used to different kind of situations and to get them used to performing, find their footing, discover their own identity. They went heavy in university performances. At first, I found it so off-brand because they were supposed to be like high-end kind of group, and then they were performing in universities. And I realized it's because they wanted the group to learn how to command an audience, to learn how to do ad libs, to hype up the crowd, and more importantly, to improve their ability to perform live. Coachella was actually, it felt like, more than anything, it felt like a graduation of their training. Like they finally made it to the big stage. So I think more than anything, it was a commencement for them. Coachella was a commencement. It was a sign, watching them, it was a sign, oh, okay, the girls are ready. They're now ready to actually go for what they really were set to conquer, and that is the global stage. Um, and then, I don't know if you know this, but from the get go, the girls were already participating in the songwriting. So mostly lyrics writing. But then they allowed the members to explore different individual intents. So for Yoonjin, because she's naturally inclined towards production and songwriting, they allowed her to release her own solo music. So far, I think she's had five. My favorite is "Blessing in Disguise." That's my first favorite. Second favorite is "Raise Your Glass." So check those out if you haven't listened to that. But I think "Blessing in Disguise," actually, you will see how she has improved, because when she does her solo releases, it's end to end on her. So she would write it, develop it, produce it, record it, finish it. Like that's the kind of training she was going through. And then they allow her to do like whatever kind of music video she wants. Like in the two music videos that she did the artwork as well. And then she just helped asked for somebody's help to do the actual transitions and all, but it was her artwork, like she actually drew it. And then Sakura for a time actually did her variety show, and then we know that Unche, the youngest in the group, hosted in a music show. So the other thing in terms of marketing, because they needed to find and develop a loyal group for them, a loyal fan base. And so one of the strategies that they did is to actually release different songs, varied genre. If you listen to their albums, they have the most one of the, if not the most prolific in terms of genre. It's just really different. One song is so different from the other. They also pursued global sound, and that is more evident in Crazy, which is more voguing, right? So and it did the job, because that's where they actually started going big. So I think their performance in this is their performance in EMA, and this is their performance in VMA, the pre-show. The way that they have been able to carry the crowd, to manage the crowd, and also present such a different look, like their physical look and their styling. It only goes to show, and it gives you an idea on the kind of market that they are actually pursuing. So I think for 2025, there's going to be a heavier push towards the West. I don't know if they're going to do a world tour that includes the West, but there is going to be a push to the West. And then I think they're going to have a collaboration, a huge collaboration, definitely an English song and more universal concept. I do see something like an OST for them, for I don't know what kind of OST, but maybe a movie, maybe a brand. But I also see a major performance for them in the USA. I think they're going to have a Western hit in 2025, and I see a Billboard Hot 100 top 20 entry. But more than anything, I think it's just interesting. The strategy was interesting. They extended the training of the group. They used the Korean and the Asian market as a training ground for them before they actually push them towards the Western market. Because with such a short training period as a group, less than 6 months, it doesn't really give them a lot of time to develop the group into the kind of group that they wanted. But they needed the money. So they launched them. It's just that in the first 18 months, they made them train while they were already performing. Yoonjin's mixtape, I think, is going to happen in 2025. I think Kazuha is going to have a dance project as well. But I encourage you, the new song that Yoonjin is releasing, it's titled, I forget the name, but it's such a beautiful concept. It's Starfish. No, not Starfish. Um, they had to delay it. What's the title? Jellyfish. Jellyfish is the title. And And one good thing about the the concept of the song itself is so beautiful, and so there's so much depth in there, because apparently a jellyfish dissipates when they die. Do you know this? Did you know this? I did not know this. So a jellyfish actually dissipates when it dies. That means it disappears completely. It leaves no trace, because like 98% of a jellyfish is actually water. So when it dies, it just becomes water. It has nothing, it leaves nothing behind. And I did not know that either. So and that's what inspired her, because the concept of you not being remembered, like leaving nothing behind, like once you pass, once you die, you leave nothing behind. That is the concept she was pursuing. Like, that is that something have you ever thought about it? Because us as like individuals, we're so focused, and so it's just second nature for us to want to be remembered, right? That's why we do most of the things that we do. We want to be remembered. We don't necessarily want to be remembered by the whole world, but at least by the people that we love or care for. But what she's saying in this song is that a jellyfish does not worry about any of it, because they just dissipate, completely disappears. So can you stand that? Like, if what if you know when you die, when you pass, you just get forgotten completely and you leave nothing behind? Is that something that you are okay with? Um, Angel Star reminds me of my biology class of experience I did in high school. That reminds me of the original story of The Little Mermaid. Multi-stand 95, when I see solos arguing, I don't even attempt to understand, I just avoid them. Pink Crystal said, I feel sad about that. Um, it is, yeah, I understand why you would feel sad about it, because as I've said, it's our nature to want to be remembered, and it's our nature to want to leave something behind. I know that's just who we are, like as people. And to a certain degree, maybe it is a need that is implanted in us, because we do need, as people, we do need to leave something good behind for this world to continue progressing, right? To continue evolving into something beautiful. But then, so that I think that is the reason we have that innate need. But what she's pursuing is, what even if we leave something behind, we still dissipate completely, like nothing. It's just we leave something behind, good, something beautiful behind, but not be remembered. So, but it also, the other thing is that if you are able to come in terms with that, like all the need, like all the need for vanity, our vanity will just go away, because it's okay with you, right? It's okay with you to just disappear and not be remembered. um and maybe that's nirvana, like knowing that you did your part and then you can move on. Maybe that is what we need to aim for anyway. That's why I think she's going to also make a huge difference as a member of the group, because she has that, like she has that ability to actually think of things like this. Like, I thought that outside of BTS I will never find another like another K-pop act or like a K-pop idol that is capable of thinking something like this. So okay, isn't it? Let's go to some of your questions. I see some concerns about Jimin. Don't worry, Jungkook is going to bring Jimin, and everything's going to be okay. Seraphim just needs to learn how to become comfortable with the mics live. The choreo wasn't the problem; it was inexperience. Um, I think they've gotten to that point, definitely. If you watch they did say that they learned a lot in their Coachella performance, because they were so excited they finally got into that big stage. It was the biggest stage that they've ever performed in, and they were so excited that they did not pace their energy well. And that is the same case, as we know, BTS also said that, right? Remember that famous scene between Jungkook and J-Hope, when Jungkook was talking about when J-Hope was talking about Jungkook needing to pace himself. Like J-Hope said, you can't. I understand that you want to give your 100% in every song, but you can't do that, because you need to think about what you're going to have left by the end of the concert. So So even at that time, they were already doing like huge stadium tours, and he was still experiencing that. So it is a natural thing, I guess, for artists when when you are so excited to perform. So it's good that they experience that early. But I think they're definitely there. I think Big Hit stole his confidence. Who? Who? Wow, Miss F, that sounds like a Chinese drama. Which one? Jellyfish? OT7 with JK bias, Carol said. See a lot of blue bottles jellyfish on the beach. Bimo Talk said Le Seraphim need improve their stamina because they have had many choreo. The best singing while dancing is Chewon. Miki said, I'm sad for all jellyfish. One hot Sean said legacy. But By Explorer said a lot of it wasn't intentional. They simply run out of time and money. We're almost out on the street. Okay, I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. Sue said, I have been very impressed with Lesser of Him. I saw them in an English variety show, and they were so good, show very good English speaking and sense of humor. I also like their songs. One of the members, Yoon Jin, was born and raised in the US. She moved to South Korea to try and become an idol, but she was already like in senior high at that time, not senior high, but high school at that time when she moved to South Korea. So um, that you know, her first language is actually English. She grew up in the East, New York. Angel Star reminds me of my biology class of experience I did in high school. Okay. The Bio Explorer, that was crazy that GM was threatened that we were talking about Jimin. Who? Who was threatened that we were talking about Jimin? Jazzy J, I can't talk about death. I understand that. Kezaya, praising Jimin does not make anyone a solo. Always negative BS when people praise Love Jimin. Don't worry, Jungkook is going to bring Jimin. Hello, everyone, and belated Happy New Year, according to Sakura. Hello. Okay. Just looking for questions. If you have any questions you want to ask. Um, Off topic question from Leia. Who think it's too soon for hot cross buns to be on sale? It's never too soon. In Jazzy J, in a fantasy Chinese drama, when a person dies, they dissipate like the jellyfish. Oh, because they will get reincarnated, right? One hot Sean. I'll try listening to Eugene. She's not in my radar at all. She left. She left your radar. I feel like Sakura will now get the proper training under K-pop now. Sakura said, yes. I think she is getting the proper training. I mean, she's been an idol for a while, but as you know, Japanese training for idols, very, very different from Korean training. GM Ate, she left because of Jimin. I don't get it. GM, who's GM? Oh, there's somebody here who left because we were talking about Jimin. Huh? That is odd. Who's GM? The Bio Explorer said there was someone named GM who called us Jimin solos and left because she thought we disrespected JK. It was weird because we didn't even mention JK. Is it because of my dream? Because JK said he was going to bring Jim in. It's not my fault that he wanted to bring Jim in. I wanted to simply be safe in my dream because I'm way older than they are. I didn't want to have dinner with them, which is just two of us. She got triggered. Uh, Hodoki, how is Japanese training different? Can you give an example? So, a lot of girl groups in Japan aren't really powerful performers. They are group performers. So if you check out groups like uh what's this big group? Japanese, like any kind of girl group in Japan, they would sing like many, they would sing in chorus. Like three people would sing at this. It's very rare for one person to have a solo. So they are taken as a group. Usually the group itself is a brand, and you can change the members. AKB48, yeah, AK48, for example, there's like hundreds of members. And then AK48, they have different they have satellites groups that are in charge of different like places in Japan, and they've also expanded to different countries. But in one common thing is that there's many members in one group, and usually it's rotating. So the brand stays even though the group members have already left, and they do that by not make by making sure there is not one person who really shines. So they would always sing certain portions of a song as a group, like three people or five people. So there's you're even if there is so there's so that. And then if you look at their performances, the dancing isn't really heavy hip hop. They're not difficult choreographies. They're very, very light, and they usually count on cuteness more than actual difficult choreographies. So they are like doing cute poses, very easy choreographies. Now there are groups that, like for example, in AK48, they actually have a voting annually who's going to be the center of the group. So the center would have like one line, two lines, and that person would constantly be the center of performances, but still not heavy. So no one is really pushed to become a better singer, a better dancer. For as long as you blend well, you're cute, you're fine, you can be in the group. Now, I'm not saying that all groups of Japan are like that. There are certain groups, like for example, um, baby metal, for example. So there's only three members of the group, and the concept of the group is that they are metal girl group, but the genre is metal. And there are only three members, but because they were able to, but then one member actually left, and they just replaced her with another member. Uh, so the brand is always bigger than the person is what's usually happening, and is that's the same thing for baby metal as well. They have the singer, the center of the group is a really good singer, obviously, but it's not anything that nobody can not do. Like there's nothing I don't want to say that it's not special. It's just that it can be replicated. Like they can take somebody else and replace, and it will still be baby metal. The same way it can still be AKB48, AK48, or something like that. So that's the main difference. Um, that sounds kind of boring to me. Yeah, try AK48. Like just check some of their performances, and you'll see that they are more concerned about the brand that they are about the performance. They have like the otakus. There's I'm sure if you've listened to the song of SSERAFIM, Crazy, the line of Sakura, I'm an otaku bestie. Otaku refers to the members of the society in Japan that are like focused on something, like they are very addicted into something, and they have been identified as fans of J-pop. So they would pay for a handshake event, um, signing event, and they also pay for voting. As I've said, yearly there will be a voting where members of the crowd, the public, will vote on who's going to be the center of the group. And Sakura was like a center for 3 years. She's so popular. She's such a popular member, such a popular J-pop idol. So so if you're an idol, you want to be the center because you're going to get the most amount of screen time. But then you're also the majority of people that are going to be voting are men, like adult men, like way older men. Those are otakus. So She was so popular in Produce 48. Um, Produce 48 was when Sakura competed, right? So I think that, if I'm not mistaken, so Produce 48, there was like Korean idols and Japanese idols in one show, and then they would form, and whoever wins, they would form a group. And the group that formed, Sakura was actually one of them. But because she was not a great performer, because she's a J-pop idol, so the level of performance is so different. She's not a great performer by Korean standard. Like, a lot of people were disappointed, like, what the hell is she doing on stage and whatever. But I remember there was this one scene when one of the judges knew about her, he knew about her, and she campaigned for Sakura, and she said, like, vote for her, but she was going to lose, she was going to get ousted. And the member of the one of the judges said, like, just vote for her, trust me, just vote for her. And everyone, because they weren't really that familiar with her, everyone was so puzzled. It's like, why, like, she's not a great performer, again, by Korean standards. And the one of the judges was like, no, just trust me, just include her in the lineup. And she was right, of course, because she's like overly popular. But that is a sample on how different the performance is. So when she debuted as a member of a Korean girl group and now as a member of SSERAFIM, she sort of had to relearn everything, because this is not the kind of discipline she knew. This is not the kind of performance she knew. I have a question, Miki said. I wish Weavers would have levels in the fandom. The more you contribute or support, the higher you can get. Do you think Weavers should add levels so antis will lead? I do think that there should be some sort of a loyalty program. And yeah, that can eventually lead to having different levels. And if only it's just to make it more secure, then naturally, the more you spend, the more you get invested. It's just that you have to thread it lightly, because not everybody will, of course, have the same amount of dispensable income, right? So some people would be really loyal and would express their support in a different way, not necessarily financially. But but yes, I do agree that they should. It's just that they have to be like formulated so that you're not necessarily skewing it towards those who have the money, the disposable income. And one way, as we've discussed in the past live stream, is that you don't necessarily have to block people from consuming the content if they don't have the money to pay. It's just that they will not be able to participate in the live discussion. I think that is sort of a good balance, right? Because if you don't have money, it's not that you're excluded. It's just that you won't be, for the safety of the artist, you won't be able to participate in the live chat. So I guess it's the same way with having that, like, different levels. The more you contribute, then the bigger your, the more things you can do. But for as long as you don't necessarily exclude those that are also loyal but they don't have the money to pay for it. Purple 13, have you heard about the manager here in the Philippines inquiring about BTS if TF, because she wanted to bring BTS in the Philippines for a concert? Maybe she was shocked of how high their fees are. So I know how much so they BTS endorsed a mobile company in the Philippines, right? Um, we have an auntie. Okay, wait 1 second. Who's okay? I'm looking for the auntie. Who's the auntie? The replaced member Momo came from the survival show Girls Planet 999. Jungkook is my favorite vocalist. Love Me Once said. It was very boring, Chelsea San said. Okay. I'm trying to, like, Angie Ramos said strange, creepy. Who's strange, creepy? Bellatrix said yes, she was the center, but she was not exactly known for her being one of the tops. The Bio Explorers are weird vibes to me. Didn't K-pop idols start as groups inspired by J-pop idols? Marie Velez said. They are. It's a mix. So when the father, who I would consider to be the father of K-pop is actually the founder of SM Entertainment. And what happened was that of course, he's well educated. He studied in the U.S. and that's where he got acquainted with Michael Jackson, Madonna, and got the idea of building an industry that is a mix of both the music and performance and the aesthetics. So, because as you know, like a huge part of the career and the success of Madonna and Michael Jackson is their ability to create looks, right? They can send trends with because it's so visual. We're visual beings. So he took that and then he combined it with the concept of having groups, and thus K-pop was born. That is an oversimplification of the history, but that's how it actually started. Now, even before he formed his first groups, there were other groups already, and of the group of Yang Yun Suk. That's not the first one. There were other groups before that are actually pioneers of K-pop. They were the first boy bands. But as we know it today, that's very much Isuman, the founder of SM Entertainment. Kathy said Menudo rotated their singers. They aged out. Okay, let's see. I'm so behind. Okay. Um, Bea said Te bias here. But OT7, only way to trigger me is if you insult any of the Tannies. Praise away. Praise who you want. All you want. Just no insults. Um, I'm afraid. So he based it on Motown system too. Yeah. So yes. So the training is based on Motown system because in Motown they train their singers. I'm afraid levels would include purchase on Weavers. I I think so. And I mean, it's for the protection of the artist. As I've said, my goal, if I am to do it, I would find a way, like, and it's going to be like highly data driven. But I have to find a way on how to make sure that those who don't have the money to just buy products and merch and whatever, they will not be barred from still consuming the content. But for the protection of the singer, I will also would want to grant other people more abilities or features than those that are there just for free. For as long as at the base of it all, we're all able to do the same thing, and that is to consume the content and express your support and whatever. Yeah. Okay. I get tired of fans telling BTS members to speak English on Weverse. I respond to them to learn Korean. Um, Angel Star, a thought popped in my head, a BTS and Boys to Men collaboration. Would love that. RJ said, I like the idea that membership get you a group chat time. The Bio Explorer said, I post mostly in fan letters and paid content on Weavers, and the imposters and antis don't never bother me there because it's paid. Miki said, yes, agree, especially the live comments should be strictly for paying members. Bija said, they do need to at least say hello in English. They are a global group, not a Korean group. V Heart, they just need moderators, even if it's AI. Like it shouldn't have to be that complicated. BTS X Boys to Men would be cool. V Heart, I agree. Okay. BTS X Imagine Dragons. Hmm. Lara, J Hope, and Doja Cat collab, please. One of the best part, Keenan. One of the best part of Les Seraphim content is watching Anche and Kazuha grow into amazing performers and artists. People who hate on Les Seraphim is really missing out on match. Okay, just wanted to make sure that I don't miscommunicate what I was saying about Sakura. My point is that the training that she got in in Japan is so different from the training in Korea. The expectations of an idol in Japan is just way different from the expectations of an idol in South Korea. In South Korea, there is so much emphasis on performance. The groups are like smaller than AK48. They're not as big as that. So because the groups are smaller and the members are mostly permanent, there is much more attention paid on every single performer. That's not the kind of training that you get in Japan. It's mostly a group training. So you have to blend with the concept. And remember, in Japan, the main thing is the brand, not the performer. So when Sakura joined the reality show, she's coming from the Japanese training and the Japanese culture, idol culture, and the Japanese discipline. So it was like a culture shock to her, and a culture shock for a lot of people, knowing that she was so popular in Japan. So when she went here, a lot of the judges were like, "Yeah, no, this is not the level of performance that we want." So when she so 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 when she made the team, everyone was like, "But she's not that good." But then, to her credit, she relearned everything, right? Relearned everything. But the thing is that one's iZone, their concept is still very different from Les Seraphim. Les Seraphim is a power performance group. That's what they are groomed to do. They are a power performance group. There's so much emphasis in performance. They have to be great dancers. They have to be so she had to relearn everything when she went to one zone. Correct me if I'm wrong, that it is one zone. And then when she went to Les Seraphim, she had to relearn everything again, right? So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that she's a bad artist. It's that the kind of that she wasn't expected to do anything more than she's already done. In fact, she exceeded expectation in Japan. It's just that it's so different from what was expected of her in South Korea. But look at her now. She's a great writer, a great songwriter, and she is developing to become a great performer and dancer, if not already. Okay. Jazzy J, I disagree. I get tired of people in the United States telling Spanish speaking people to speak English. That is racist to me. Okay. Apo Bangpo, I have split screens, Weavers, and Google Translate, and usually reply both in Korean and English. Okay. If J Hope improved his English, his personality would be great for Broadway. Robin Carr. I think the debate on whether or not they are expected to at least like say certain things in English will never be settled. Um, my Because we have different like preferences, right? And I mean, even people in the United States of America have different like views on who should speak English, not speak English, and whatever, and who should be expected to speak in English. Um, but I guess my concern would be like if they are okay. My stand has always been do what the Romans do, meaning if they are in Korea, they should speak in Korean, in Hangul, in Korean. If they are in Japan, they do make an effort to try and learn a little bit of the language. Now, is it is it I am not saying that they should speak in English like 100% when they are in the US. That is totally unreasonable. That is totally unreasonable. But I do think that they should at least greet in English, which they do, and that is enough for me. Because expecting them to speak in English would also mean we are expecting them to speak in other languages, right? So, which I think, just, unless you're a linguist, is very, very difficult to do. So, my stand is that I think it's a case to case basis. You can never There can never be correct position in there. It all depends on the situation. When they're doing their live, their reverse, I think it is natural for them to use the language that they are most comfortable in. But I appreciate that some of them would greet or say a word or two or a sentence or two in English, and I think that's enough. When they come to the US, I think they should greet at the very least in English, but I wouldn't expect them to speak in like and do an entire interview in English. Ophelia, my take on English debate would be dependent on their dreams if they want to break into the market with collaboration. Yeah, I mean, like for example, who's this top Latino artist, like rapper? Not Peso Pluma, the other guy. Like he has just refused to to rap in English. It's like nope, Spanish. What's his name? I forget his name. But he's like he Bad Bunny, yeah. So like he has refused, but he's so big in the US, right? So but that's because he has never really done a lot of interviews in that's just how he has chosen to do it. So I guess that's the same thing for them, for BTS. Like if they're okay to not to with the limitations of that not being able to speak in English presents, then that's fine. Bad Bunny can barely speak Spanish. Oh, okay. What does he speak? Marianne, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Marianne. What does he speak? What language does he use? Grevi. Um, Pinayon say Latin music segment is much bigger than K-pop. Okay, we've hit the 2 hour mark. It always amazes me because I remember when I started doing this, I would usually go 1 hour, and then eventually it went to like an hour and a half, and then now we're like 2 hours. So it amazes me the evolution in the movement, um, but yeah, but still Spanish. So Bad Bunny, he raps in Spanish. Am I right? You can 3 hours in 2025. I mean, eventually the goal, because I will start doing interviews. I have several interviews lined up for January, but I hope to evolve to that. Like eventually, I want to be able to interview artists and have like a proper setup for a podcast, a video, and then a YouTube show. So I think eventually it'll be more than 2 hours because some would be devoted to other things like that actually have proper segments, right? But I'm not rushing into it. I'm just allowing it to happen. I hope that some of the interviews would lead to more interviews. Eventually, my dream is to send you guys to like do attend events, attend events in your countries or premiere of movies. Like if I That's the goal. Like I would send you like if you're from the Philippines, for example, and we have invitation to attend, like then you can attend for Asian entertainment and culture. Um, but I'm not rushing into that. I just want to enjoy the process more than anything. I really I enjoy this. Like I enjoy having conversations with you. Some people would say like I shouldn't be reading comments and I shouldn't be responding live because I should like they would say like, oh, we watch you because we want to hear your thoughts, not really the thoughts of the people that are participating in the live stream. I'm like, but I like having conversations because I feel like that's one thing that is missing in the dialogue conversations. We don't exchange ideas enough. That's why I want to do this. And so I don't think I will ever stop like having live interactions with you guys. And if you're not down to it, that's fine. You don't have to watch. But that is why I also want to go back into doing my video essays because that's where I started, and I think there are still a lot of things that I want to be able to say. It's just that, as I've said, I just needed help, and it took me a while to get the proper help that I need. But now that I found it, then I think I will be able to do more and plan things more. But yeah, um, if there's any topic that you want me to cover, let me know. And the Bio Explorer said, yeah, she will go if I send her to. Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, I hope that that happens. We're ways from there, but I hope it happens. Um, see your see you remember the video essays you did. I remember them also. I'll go back to it. Yeah, 2025. I'll definitely go back. I have several already lined up. So, okay, I'm proud when you read my comment or questions, Carol said. I am proud that you guys are sending me your questions. By the way, the video essays are great. I'm enjoying them. Okay. Also, I do other videos that are not necessarily just BTS. I do video essays on history, mythology, because those are the things that I enjoy. So please watch them as well. And like, okay, do you have questions before I go? The Bio Explorer, I've been learning Korean off and on 40 years and I'm still bad, but I try. Sandy said, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Angie said, I don't get it. How would them saying hi change anything? What do you mean, like BTS? Lara, how's your book? I was supposed to discuss some things with you, but I haven't done, I'm not done actually like posting it here. I will, because now I have the time. I'll post some of the characters here and I'll discuss it with you hopefully in the next live stream. My next one will be Friday. So right around the same time. I'm aiming for 8 p.m. Because I know some of the people on the East Coast, it's very late for them. So trying to move it to 8. Let's see if I succeed. I did today. Good night to those hopping off. Okay, Fairlane, thank the Philippines for me. Just watch Arnel Pineda docu. Awesome guy. Arnel is a good friend of mine. I don't know. Well, he was. I guess he still is. We were just not talking. Have you done a video essay on mythology in the Philippines, like the little people? Forgot the name. Duende is the name. Yes. So they're lined up to be published. So wait for them. Did SK overlook Jin album? He should be bigger. Jin should be bigger. um, Sienna said, just hit 6 a.m. here. Oh my God, you have to go back to sleep. I love Keaton and Callie. Okay. Um, Multi-Stan 95, 1 a.m. Look after midnight snacks and listening. These lives are very relaxing and interactive. Thank you. The Bio Explorer, yay, I remember them from childhood. Yeah, I will do that. So I will do a bunch of it because it's going to be related to some of the books that I'm writing. But okay, so thank you very much to everybody. I hope you guys have a great rest of the year. I hope you enjoyed your first day of 2025. Again, I hope that all of your dreams and your goals for 2025 come true. I'll see you on Friday. Just let me know if there's any topic that you want me to cover during the live stream or for video essays, and I'll do my best. Thank you. Bye.